New York Jets fans, welcome to a very new segment of Knicks Bros TV here live on Google Hangout. Trying to get this thing to work. I apologize. I believe it's working. But no, either way, thank you guys for joining in. In this session, we'll be talking about the New York Jets' first preseason game versus the Detroit Lions. We're going to discuss that, in a complete fashion. We're going to be talking about a lot of the position battles and how everything went. Obviously, if you watched the game, in which I wasn't able to watch it live, I recorded it and watched it the next day. I try to avoid, seeing the score, but obviously, you know how ESPN, if you have the ESPN app, it updates you on things. I tried even turning that off. I couldn't help myself, but just to look at the score and just kind of see what the stats were. Obviously, it's preseason. Scores, results like that don't matter. But, once I watched the game, it was a very, very sloppy game. Overall, I don't think Detroit Lions looked all too good either, but they definitely played much better than we did. We played a very ugly football game, offensively and defensively. Again, I mentioned this in my previous video. You shouldn't have expected Ryan Fitzpatrick to do very well just because of the situation that happened with Geno Smith and him not being able to get first-team reps. So that's one thing for sure. But overall, I thought it was a very sloppy game. Amir Abdullah from Detroit, I thought he had an amazing game. I expected him to do very well for Detroit when he did get drafted because I watched him in Nebraska and he was a heck of a running back. So, again, he's got that size to him. A lot of people already are, considering him to be like a Barry Sanders type of running back, but obviously it's very too early to tell. So let's talk a little bit New York Jets football. One thing that right off the bat is we really want to be able to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we were able to see that versus the Detroit Lions just because he had, I believe, just one drive, and I thought it was a pretty decent drive. He went 3 for 2, 16 yards, obviously no touchdowns or no interceptions. We ran the ball the first drive very well, and I thought Chris Ivory did a good job. 6 carries for 25 yards. So that first drive I thought was pretty decent as far as the Jets were concerned. We really wanted Fitzpatrick to be healthy. Obviously, that's why we didn't keep him in the game as long as we wanted him to. I was pretty satisfied the fact that we're trying to protect Ryan Fitzpatrick as much as possible. And again, guys, if you are on here live with me, go ahead and leave your comments. I'll definitely be able to respond to them or, be able to just keep the conversation going here. So, yeah, Ryan Fitzpatrick overall, decent game for the five minutes he did play. Again, it's first preseason game. I know I did say we did have a very sloppy game, which we did, but again, you really don't know what to expect from preseason games at all. Results don't matter. A lot of things don't matter just because you're not facing the first team. You're just evaluating talent and evaluating individual players and their stats and things like that. I thought Bilal Powell had a couple of decent carries in the game as well. Bryce Petty had a lot of reps in the game. I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do, but then I don't know if we have another quarterback. I didn't look at the depth chart since Geno Smith is out for 6 to 10 weeks. And by the way, he did have his surgery. It went successful. And he made another comment about I'll be back. To me, Geno's done. Again, it might be a premature comment, but it is what it is. To me, Geno Smith is done. And it all depends how, Ryan Fitzpatrick does into the season. Geno Smith might have a, possibility of him coming back. But if we're doing good with Ryan Fitzpatrick, I don't see any reason why we do go to Geno Smith. But again, I supported Geno at first, just because we did draft him, and I want to be able to focus on one guy, even though he has regressed for the couple of years. But the past year and a half, almost, yeah, about a year and a half, I mean, he's regressed. He's made dumb moves. Whether it's not attending training, I mean, the leadership, all that stuff has made me just really, just truly not like this guy. And I stand by everything I said in my last video. The guy's immature. A leader wouldn't do what he did or get himself into the same situation that he got himself with IK. $600 isn't worth any of that stuff. So again, I'm not going to get into that, but Bryce Petty had a lot of reps. At points, he looked kind of lost, and sometimes he showed a lot of potential. He went 18 or 10 for 18, about 50 yards. He did get sacked once, but overall, again, not really much to take away from the game. Defensively, we looked really bad. A lot of missed tackles. Some of the coverages I thought, weren't exactly where it needs to be. But that's kind of where I stand there. I believe Marshall had one catch. Eric Decker had one catch. We really, really played the younger guys in our preseason game compared to a lot of other teams. So I don't know what to really take away from the game itself. I really want to hear from you guys and what you guys, think should be done or could be done with some of the positions that we do have here on the New York Jets. One thing I do want to get into in today's session is, I recall watching one of my previous videos, and it's a video that it was Young J00, which hopefully him and I can get together, and also Jayhawk Jet. Hopefully him and I can get together as well. Those are really, really good Jets fans that I know here on YouTube. And we made a video a couple of months ago. I believe it was after the draft, and we talked about our predictions based off of the draft and where we see the New York Jets record-wise. And I believe at the time I made a pretty bold prediction. I considered a 10-6 or a 9-7 record for the New York Jets. And I made that prediction, knowing or thinking that the new regime is here and they're going to change everything, and they are, and that's what they're doing. And I'm totally behind Mike McKagan and Todd Bowles, but I just didn't realize how bad some of the, some of the old regimes' footprints are still left on this football team. That's the best way I guess I could put it. The lack of discipline, the lack of accountability for the New York Jets under Rex Ryan's time is really, really opening up right now. And looking at, obviously, again, it's the first preseason game. I can't draw too much into it, or I can't look into too much into it, but some things are really not going our way. And I hate to sound so negative in the last two videos. I really, I know we're going to the right direction, but with Richardson's situation, with this entire thing happening with Geno, which I do think is for the best, but it just puts the team into a situation where Ryan Fitzpatrick didn't get all the first team reps, and I just want to make sure he's ready. He's a very smart quarterback. He just needs to, his turnover ratio has got to bring him down a little bit, and I really think he's a much better leader. But going back into my prediction, knowing that all this stuff is going on, and Todd Bowles really truly has his hands full with the team, I really can't see myself, asking for the Jets to be a playoff contender for next season. Because right now there's a huge question mark for a quarterback's position and the situation that we've been dealt with. The best way I can see our team succeeding or making a push for the playoffs is if we trace or stay true to the running game. Chris Ivory showed a lot of potential in the first preseason game. If we stay disciplined to the running game and allow Fitzpatrick to just make, just ask for him to only throw the ball, 10 to 15 times a game, and really allow the running game to open up the game for us and keep the defense guessing, is the way I see us winning football games. I really don't see us being an explosive offense whatsoever. I know a lot of people thought we could turn that around by getting these additions, whether if it was Marshall, bringing some weapons for Geno Smith at the time, was going to make us a much better offensive team. And yes, it still does. But I'm so worried about for this quarterback situation that we've been dealt with in New York. Because here's the thing: if Geno was healthy, we could have put him into the game and finally said, "All right, this is his third season. There's no more excuses. He actually has weapons this year. Let's see what he's made out of." Then if he would have done great. He would have proved me wrong, because obviously, I'm not a Geno supporter. I'm not a Geno hater either, but it's his decisions that he makes that really bother me. I mean, I love to see anybody succeed in this league. I don't want anyone not to do well except Tom Brady. But that's a different story. But this would have been the year that we could have been like, all right, well, we would have never looked back at this 4 or 5 years from now and just say, all right, I wonder what Geno could have been. And then worst thing comes worst, if he would have done the same thing, you know what, this would have been his last chance. And Ryan Fitzpatrick could have stepped in. And we all know what Fitzpatrick can give us. He's not a game changer. He's just a okay quarterback. And you know what? As Jets fans, as a Jets franchise, we've always had a okay quarterback. Vinny Testaverde, okay quarterback. Mark Sanchez, at the time, okay plus quarterback till that last year. Chad Pennington would probably had a few good, really couple of good years, and then overall he was just an okay quarterback. So that's what I'm trying to just really get at is, I just don't see this Jets team with the amount of distraction and things like that this season, silly things, for us to be able to be a contending team. Hopefully we can make that 9-7 push. I mean, this AFC East team is going to be very tough. All the teams have a very dominant defense except the New England Patriots. I think if you're going to play the Patriots, you have to play them offensively and be able to put up points. But a Buffalo Bills team, Miami Dolphins team is going to be very, very tough in the AFC East to be able to make something happen. But hopefully, Ryan Fitzpatrick can really, really be able to connect with these wide receivers. I know Marshall favored Geno Smith, and I believe I came on here once and I stated, what would happen if Fitzpatrick wins the quarterback situation? How well of a chemistry would the wide receivers have with him? So I know I'm going a little ramble. I really want to know you guys' comments and tell me what you think about the quarterback situation in New York and how much is that going to be able to keep us away from having a 10-6 or 9-7 season. The other thing is I didn't see a lot from Leonard Williams in this game whatsoever, and I know it's just me, but I can't get over the fact that he has a offensive lineman number. His number is 62. I'm very hesitant to buy his jersey because I feel like as soon as a number in the 90s opens up, he's going to change his number. But that's very irrelevant in my conversation right now. But yeah, I didn't see much out of him. I think just the team overall I mean, it was 2 days before that whole Geno thing happened. There was a lot of distractions, so I'm not going to make a lot of this game. But again, I'm very hesitant from my last prediction of 10-6. I really see us at best at 8-8, but I hope that's not the case. I hope we can really truly make a push for the playoffs. Smith is out for about 6 weeks. Shelton's going to be out for the first 4 because of his marijuana use, and we don't know what other discipline he's going to get for that driving situation in Missouri. But either way, you guys let me know what you think. How much, do you guys how well do you think Fitzpatrick's going to do? Or how many weeks into the season are we gonna have to see Bryce Petty start for us? And that would be the worst thing that could happen to the New York Jets is, again, putting another rookie quarterback on the spotlight like that, and putting him in certain situations where he has to put the team on his back prematurely, and that's exactly what has happened to a lot of our quarterbacks. And I really want Bryce Petty to take his time, learn, and step in and make a difference that way, rather than week 4. Let's just say we're 0-3 and we're expecting him to do everything because Fitzpatrick couldn't have done it. But I don't know. Those are all just questions that I'm just asking you guys. You guys tell me what you think. I'm glad this has happened because I don't think Geno Smith is a NFL quarterback. He's just not smart enough. But at the same time, I can't help to just sit back and be like, okay, what could have been with Geno Smith? I would have rather had him healthy. Now that I sit back and think about it, and go from there. But at the same time, I don't care. You know what? Let Fitzpatrick step in. Let him do what he does and kind of go from there. But I am very worried with some of the stuff that I saw in the game. But again, first preseason of the year. Can't really look into it too much. But that's really it, guys. The next preseason game we do have, I believe, is against the Atlanta Falcons at home at MetLife Stadium. I can't recall. Oh, yeah, we do play the Giants after that. And then we always finish off the 4th game in Philly when we play the Eagles. It's either in Philly or it's in New York or New Jersey, I should say. But I know that's the 4th team we play. And then we open the season against the Cleveland Browns. Hopefully, just overall, we can stay healthy. I think it's just a matter of time for us to get this chemistry going. And hopefully, I really want to see more out of Ryan Fitzpatrick. But I get the fact that they're pulling him early because of a reason. They want to make sure he stays healthy, he doesn't get hurt. So, again, guys, leave me your comments. Leave me your thoughts. I'm going to be doing post games for almost every Jets game there is, unless I get caught up with work or something like that. But again, thank you guys for all your support. Thanks for sharing this. Again, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for the comments you guys leave us. I love for this show to be more interactive. Share it with any Jets fans. I know my brother is going to be doing Giants videos soon. So if you guys are Giants fans, stay tuned for his show. But again, keep the communication going. I want to know what you guys think. If I'm wrong, tell me. That's fine. Hey, I'm just a fan. I don't get paid for this stuff. I'm just a fan. At times I'm wrong, and at times I might be right. So hopefully I like to be right more than I'm wrong. With that being said, I'd love for the Jets to go 10-6. But we all know what reality might be, especially with some of the stuff that's happened with this franchise. So, guys, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Again, thanks for tuning in and being with me for the past half hour, and have a wonderful week.